Who what taught you your first swear word? First swear word in general, I don't remember. Probably technically hell due to my Catholic upbringing and my childhood obsession with the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I do remember specifically where I was taught the F word though. I was reading a fanfic when I was 14, and a character called another AFing a hole in one of the last chapters. I got the sense it was a swear, but had never heard it, though in my mental reading of it I pronounced it like fucking. My dad taught me a rhyme that contained the word cunt. LOL. It didn't say the word directly. The verse was she went to the station to see the engine shunt. A piece of metal flew off the track and hit her in the country girls are nice girls, country girls are slick. ... and so on. I remember asking what's a cunt, and my parents laughing and telling me not to say that, so I knew right away it was a bad word and said it a lot. Still do. The first swear words I heard were almost certainly from my dad. He cussed like a sailor, I mean he was one after all. The first one I can remember saying was when my mum and dad got in a fight. She got in her Camaro and took me with her, put me on her lap and said, "Tell your dad bye-bye you bastard," and then I yelled out the car window, "Bye-bye you bastard," and she sped off. I remember learning fuck from somebody, but I don't remember who. I was 3 or 4. I thought it was a variation of sucker like Bugs Bunny used to call people. When my mother caught my brother and I yelling fucker at passing cars, she didn't get mad, but told us we should be careful using words we didn't understand. The bathroom wall in the 4th grade. 2 girls were having a debate on the wall in Sharpie on the stall wall, and one of them said FKU. I asked my mum, and she told me never to say it again. Also, I was in the 1st grade and decided to try pointing with a different finger. My middle one. The bullies ripped me apart. Honestly, I didn't hear my first curse word until I was 18 and in college. At home, I thought the S word meant stupid. It was so crazy, and my peer mentor at the time was like, "Girl, are you gonna be okay? Have you been living under a rock?" I'm older now, but cursing is like an ick for me now. Please use full sentences. My cousin. I was 3 years old and she taught me to say the F word, then sent me out into the living room full of very Christian relatives and told me to say it as loud as I could. I don't remember everyone's responses, but when my mum tells the story it cracks her up. Son dickhead my mum had over when I was a kid in the 80s said the phrase bohemian buttfuck disease when I was present and impressionable. If anyone is curious, it was a shitty way to refer to AIDS back in the day when they called it the gay disease. We were all about 6-7 with 2 older brothers hanging with us, small village. They thought they were cool off swearing every sentence. We joined in course, but I soon became the black sheep of the group because I refused to say fuck. My father cursed like no other. He was a truck driver when I was little, so yeah, he made sailors seem on a more reserved side. You get what I'm saying? He yelled, swore, and chucked things. And well, road rage is a thing for a reason. My family swore casually and in arguments. It was just part of all the other vocabulary I learned growing up. I had to be taught not to swear when I was a kid in order to be allowed over to friends' houses. Not exactly your question, but the first joke I learned was what do a blonde and a turtle have in common? Once they're on their back, they're screwed. Taught to me by my much older cousin LOL. I don't remember, but I do remember learning a whole bunch with other kids in my neighborhood after one of them played us a Kevin Bloody Wilson tape. Santa never looked the same again. Probably my mom or stepdad. But growing up my parents didn't think most swear words were bad, so saying ass, shit, etc. wasn't a big deal. They were just words. I was at the helm of my brother's ship, and I did something dumb. So I said fuck. The Filipino helmsman said, "Is that the only word you Danes know?" My mother, my family had been really good about not letting me hear curse words, and then my mom broke her foot when I was 9 or 10. That ended quickly. I remembering sticking out the middle finger when I was 6 thinking it's the brother finger. My cousin told me not to do that, BC it's bad. I was at the playground when I was 3 and someone spray painted fuck on part of the equipment. so I tried to sound out the word fuck. Apparently, my mum. There's this story of me saying God damn it at age 6 while messing around with toes circulating around my family. I blame it on the sneaky squirrel who stole my nuts when I was just a wee tot. That furry little bandit had a colorful vocabulary. I always tell my mum she's lucky I'm smart because in first grade when asked my father's name I didn't say Jackass. The Last World by Michael Crichton. Probably not appropriate reading material for a 4th grader. I got in trouble for saying oh my god after learning it from the Iron Giant. My mum threw it out, haha. Great uncle. He is a Vietnam War vet and he gets creative. I learned a lot of words from him. My dad, of course, and they were all in Dutch, which makes them sound especially coarse. George Carlin's stand-up routine that I somehow tuned into on our cable descrambler. My mum, and it was all in Spanish, and my first English I heard was motherfucker. My very first word was shit. Pretty sure I learned it from my dad. I was born in England, so I probably learned to cuss from the doctor. Fuck was the first word I ever learned back in the 3rd grade. My paternal figure. He called my mother horrible names. My dad when a computer disagreed with him. I was 3.